as the 2023 Miami Grand Prix race commentary. So, we are currently about half an hour away from the race start, so we've got a bit of time for AstCa news, so I'm going to try and cover as much as I can from this week to let you guys all know what's happened in the last week. And if you were at my Stamcast earlier, you would know that, frankly, this week's been a bit of a slow news week. Of course, we did have that brilliant tour around Wrexham from the Wrexham football team on Tuesday evening, which was just, frankly, amazing to watch. I loved, honestly, every minute of it. It was really cool to see that. Especially being on the national 6 o'clock news, that was, frankly, incredible to see. So that happened on Tuesday, which was just phenomenal in my opinion. Of course, we have had the coronation of the new king, King Charles. So that happened yesterday. There is a concert going on right now, I believe. So a bit of a split viewing choice, frankly, between the race and that. Although, as you guys know, I'm going for the race. And beyond that, there hasn't been too much else. Of course, I did make my little boo-boo with my Nintendo Switch controller with not realizing that the Switch controllers were wireless. Whoops! And yeah, that was annoying, unfortunately. But thankfully, Roxanne shall receive it when she returns from uni, so that's a win. So, what else has happened this week? Frankly, very little else. Now, let's get into some pre-race stuff. Of course, as I mentioned in the Astoundcast earlier on, there has been a couple of incidents over the weekend, mainly with Nico Hulkenberg destroying his front right tyre in practice 1, Charles Leclerc going off in practice 2, which I kind of forgot about, and of course, Charles Leclerc again going off in qualifying session 3 yesterday, ending qualifying altogether, and leaving us with a very interesting top 3 of Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso, and Carlos Sainz to start off today's race. So, yeah, not a top 3 I was expecting, but you know what? It's a new top 3. It's a damn interesting top 3. And I'm really curious to see how they all deal with Turn 1, because, of course, as we know, F1, Turn 1 chaos is very much a massive factor to be considered in terms of the race. Now, of course, we have Max Verstappen all the way down in probably, for him, an incredibly uncomfortable P9. Just give me a second to sort that strand of hair. Okay, and we're good. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how he handles that. In fact, I'm really curious to see how he deals with that. Beyond that, Lewis Hamilton is, of course, down in 13th, and George Russell, I can't remember where he ended up qualifying, but we'll find out in about 20 minutes when we get the race starting order rundown, so let's keep an eye out for that in 20 or so minutes. So, I want to know, you guys, what do you think is going to happen in this race? Do you think there's going to be any major crashes? Anyone's going to break down in the middle of the track? Will there be any safety cars, red flags, yellow flags? Will there be a virtual safety car? Because they seem to be becoming a bit more commonplace nowadays. So, what do we think is going to happen today? And the big one. Who is going to win? And who's going to make up the podium? And you know what? Because I can. Who's going to finish last? Who is going to be 20 of 20 or last of however many cars finish? Because, of course, if some cars don't finish, it will not be 20 of 20. It will be 19 of 19, 18 of 18. You get the idea. Who's going to be the last person to cross the line? I don't know who it's going to be, frankly. I'm hoping it isn't going to be Logan Sargent, because, of course, as I've said, this is his home race. So I'm hoping, for his sake at least, that he doesn't finish in last place. Like, that would be extremely painful for his first time racing in his home state. Like, I really don't want that to be the case for him, so hopefully Logan Sargent doesn't do that today. As for the Aston Martins, of course, as I said yesterday, I think, Lance Stroll is quite far back in terms of where he has been the last few races. Like, I can't remember where he is exactly, but he is not anywhere near Fernando in P2. Although, I will admit, Azerbaijan was a bit of a bit of a downgrade for them in terms of their stats, but it seems that Fernando Alonso has got some of his pace back from the very first stint of the season, so hopefully we can see that performance continue from the very seasoned driver. In fact, currently the most experienced driver on the entire grid right now. And I think he's one of the most experienced F1 drivers of all time. Sorry about messing with my ear, guys. It's just, you know when you're on a plane and your ears pop? Unfortunately, mine's popped, but it isn't unpopping, so that's annoying as hell. But I do have a solution. One moment, please. There we go. That should kind of remedy that for a while. Just a little bit of an earplug. There we go. But yeah, who do we think's going to win the race? Who's going to make up the rest of the podium? Who's actually going to round out the points positions? So that's obviously 10th place. So who's going to fill up the points? Who's not going to get any at all? Do you think there'll be, as crazy as this is going to sound, one of each team in the points? Or which team isn't going to make the cut for the points at all? Will it be AlphaTauri? Will it be Haas? Will it be Williams? Alfa Romeo? Who is going to be your completely non-point scoring team today? Like, frankly, I don't know. I hope AlphaTauri has a bit of an upward swing in performance because, of course, their first couple of races haven't been perfect in many ways. Unfortunately, Nick de Vries hasn't really lived up to the hype because, I can't lie, with Nick de Vries' success in Formula 2, Formula 3, and Formula E, I thought Nick de Vries was going to be one to really watch out for, but so far, he hasn't been, which is a really big shame because I really did like him in Formula E with the Mercedes team. He was a very good driver, but I'm hoping this is just teething issues because, of course, this is only going to be his 5th race in Formula 1 ever. So hopefully throughout the season we will see some improvements from the Dutchman. Hopefully, because he has definitely earned this place in F1. He has done so much racing over the years, like he's earned this. So I'm hoping he is able to prove that he's earned this. Like, but unfortunately, so far he hasn't given much proof. But there's always room for improvement. So, again, I just would love to discuss the possibility of another Fernando Alonso podium. It could happen. He's in P2 at the start, so if he somehow manages to maintain position, he could be on for another podium. Of course, he did break his podium streak last week in Azerbaijan, which was really sad to see. But, 3 podiums in a row, that ain't bad for a 42-year-old. I think he is... Actually, I did learn a very interesting fact earlier. He is the second oldest person in F1 to get 3 podiums in a row. The last person to do that was Juan Manuel Fangio, who was the first 5-time world champion in Formula 1. And until Michael Schumacher came around, he held the championship record at 5 championships. It was literally called the 5 of Fangio. And, of course, Michael Schumacher came along and upped it to 7. And, of course, Lewis Hamilton has also gone to 7. He is still attempting to get his 8th. Will he get it one day? Perhaps. Will it be this season? Stranger things have happened. We're only 5 races in. There's still 18 to go after this, so who knows? But yeah. So, Fernando Alonso is the second oldest person in Formula 1 history to get 3 podiums in a row, which is just insane, because Juan Manuel Fangio was racing back in the 50s. He was like one of the original Formula 1 drivers. Like, he was one of the first people to come into Formula 1. And of course, he won his 5 championships with, I think they were all with Mercedes, Maserati, because yes, back in those days, Mercedes weren't their own team fully. They were collaborating with Maserati. I believe it was a case of Maserati were making the cars, while Mercedes were making the engines, which, considering Mercedes' performance over the second part of the 2010s, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it does seem that Mercedes know how to build a good Formula One engine. So, yeah, I think that is how it went back in those days. Maserati built the car, whereas Mercedes built the thing that made it go. Um, yeah, I'm actually just gonna talk about the history of F1 because 2 years' time, it'll be 75 years that this thing's been going. So, like, yeah. Of course, we know that Ferrari is the oldest team in Formula One. Of course, you'd think the last few years that they weren't, given their unfortunate woes over the last decade or so. However, they weren't there from the start. Nope. They joined, actually, in the third round of the 1950 championship, the first F1 championship, and I think they joined in Monaco, which was, I think that was the third round anyway. I know they joined at Monaco, I just can't remember which round it was that season. Because, of course, I think the first ever season was only like 7 or 8 races, so yeah, it wasn't that long. So yeah, Ferrari, despite having been in every F1 season, they weren't there from the very start, which is, I think, a bit of a common misconception, but no, they weren't there for the first 2 or 3 races, however many it was until Monaco. In fact, the dominant Italian team at the Silverstone Grand Prix, the first ever Formula One race, was Alfa Romeo, believe it or not. Yeah, you probably wouldn't think it with Alfa Romeo today, but back then, they were quick. In fact, Nino Farina, the first F1 world champion, I'm pretty sure, was an Alfa Romeo driver. He was Alfa Romeo or Ferrari. I'm not too familiar with the early history of F1. I know some stuff, but there's some stuff I'm a bit sketchy on. Like, I'm not entirely... I know Ferrari weren't there until Monaco, that I do know. And I'm pretty sure Nino Farina, who was the first F1 champion, for certain, was an Alfa Romeo driver. He may have been Ferrari. Hold on a second. Let me Google. Because, I want to get my facts straight here, because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that we know the name of the first F1 world champion, and he is, let's face it, he made history when he won it. Like, the first Formula One world champion, literally only one person can say that, and it's him. Aha, here he is. Fun fact, he was born in Turin, and if you watched Eurovision last year, that's where it was held. Yep, he won the first title in 1950 with, yeah, it would seem, Alfa Romeo. And he raced for 3 teams throughout his racing career. Alfa Romeo did make the switch to Ferrari, and then Lancia. Although I'm going to guess not in F1, because I don't believe Lancia have ever actually raced in F1. Be cool if they did, but I don't think they have. But yeah, my early history of F1 knowledge isn't brilliant, but I know a lot of the basics. I'm better with the modern day stuff, so like 80s, 90s, 2000s, when F1 started to become a bit more recognisable as it is today. When the side pods started to come in, when the when the wings were added, because, yeah, believe it or not, the front and rear wings haven't always been in F1. Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound right, considering, they're so big in F1 now. Like, they're so important to these cars. But when F1 first started, what wings? What do we need them for? They literally used to drift around corners just to get them around. Because, like, the cars were so heavy that they literally basically had to drift them just to get them to turn. It was insane. But I have seen the original Silverstone Grand Prix, because it wasn't televised live, but it was recorded and it was shown afterwards, and I have seen it, and wow. In spite of it being nearly 75 years ago, those cars were damn quick. Like, I know it's the 50s and they were probably like slugs compared to today's F1 cars, but my god, they weren't slow. They did have some speed behind them. And it was amazing to watch. Of course, Queen Elizabeth II was at that race. She was there when the Formula One World Championship begun. And yeah, I'm glad that we are still racing at Silverstone. Of course, as I said, I think in the last race there was a period in the 80s and 90s when Silverstone was swapped out for Brands Hatch, which, don't get me wrong, is a really good circuit. However, the British Grand Prix, it's got to be at Silverstone, right? Like, there's nowhere else they could do it, really. Again, I know Brands Hatch was a good circuit, but it's Silverstone. It's the birthplace of F1. To not have it there would be one hell of a disservice, so I'm really glad all the British Grand Prix I've seen and been alive for have been at Silverstone. And I just can't wait to see how this year's goes, because of course, that is coming up in only a few weeks. And of course, I believe the F1 game, once again, is coming out that weekend. And actually, we're getting a double game release this year, because we're getting F1 23 and F1 Manager 2023. So that's going to be 2 games, I think, launching on the same day, if not very close to each other. But yeah, so I just want to talk a bit about what Juan Manuel Fangio there in the early days of F1, because you don't really see many people talking about that. So I thought I'd just bring some attention to it, because we know where F1 is now. We've got the likes of Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso. What about those OG guys like Juan Manuel Fangio, Nino Farina, Alberto Ascari? Not too much is known about them guys nowadays, except for the die-hard F1 fans who've been watching it. Hell, some may have been watching it when those guys were around. Like, you never know. There could be some people watching F1 now who watched the Silverstone race back in 1950. Who knows? But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I do know some stuff about that, but I just never really talk about that era much because, of course, I'm talking about what's happening here and now in F1. But let me know if you guys want to know some stuff about the olden days of F1. If you want me to do a video on a specific driver from years gone by, be it Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher, Alain Prost, Niki Lauda, any of them really. Like, because again, as I said, I talk about modern F1 a lot. Because, of course, it's what's relevant right now, and it's what's going on. But I just never talk about what came before. So if you guys want me to talk about any specific driver in a video, I can. Because I know I have made some top 5s on, well, I think I made a top 5 on my top 5 drivers, which may need a revision. I'll need to watch it back. But yeah, if you want a video on the career of a specific driver, be it any era in F1, let me know, because I think that'd be quite interesting to do, to be honest, because I am a big Formula 1 fan, and I want to learn a bit more about it. So if there's a driver that I don't know much about, I can just have a look at them and see what they did. Of course, one that I would really love to talk about, should it be requested, is Tom Price. Because he was a Welsh F1 driver. And actually, he was from Wrexham. Yep. The only Welsh driver in Formula 1 history is from Wrexham. Hell yes. So that is a video that I would really love to do. I may do that as a starter, see how it works out. Tragically, he did die in quite a horrific accident in Kyalami in 77. But I would really like to, I may actually do that, cover his career. Like, I'll see how that goes, and if you guys want any more drivers, let me know, because I think it'd be quite interesting to do, to be honest. Anyway, now that I've talked about that for a good little while, sorry guys, it's been a long day. Lots of crying in Guardians of the Galaxy earlier. Anyway, we are now roughly 10 minutes out from the start of the race. So in a moment, I shall tune into the race and see what's going on the grid. Yeah, so let's get ready to go, guys. 1 second, where's that? Yep, there it is. Okay, well, let's get going. Also, chunky headphones today because I forgot to charge my wireless ones. Whoops. There it is. Go. Okay, I'm suspecting they've just finished Star Spangled Banner, or they're about to start it. I'm not fully sure, to be honest. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, we're just getting a little bit of a pre-race interview with Max Verstappen, see how he can climb up from P9, because of course that is a quite low position for him to be in compared to what he has been this year. Okay, now, we've got 57 laps here, and I believe the fastest lap from Max Verstappen last year, and the fastest lap overall, was a 1 minute 31 something. So, as I said in the AstCast, this race should be about 85.5 minutes on paper. However, this is Formula One. How often do things go exactly to plan? Exactly. Very, very, very rarely. So I wouldn't be too surprised if something does throw a spanner into the works there. So maybe expect a safety car or a yellow flag or something of that ilk. But hopefully nothing does go wrong and we do get an 85.5 minute race. That would be very good indeed. But it's Formula One, so that is honestly kind of unlikely. But you never know. The universe could really surprise us. Oh, and Vin Diesel's up the race and is absolutely loving it. And frankly, hell yeah. Oh yeah, and Kevin Magnussen, quite surprisingly, is starting in 4th place alongside Carlos Sainz. That was quite a surprise entry to qualifying. Like, I wasn't expecting to see him that far up on the grid, to be honest. But you know what? I respect it. Haas, they've had a rough few years since they come into F1. They obviously had a very good start to last season, and of course, Kev Magnussen securing that pole position for the sprint race in Brazil last year was just incredible. Like, wow, I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing there, to be honest. So, good for Kevin. I really hope he does well today. And Charles Leclerc's crash yesterday has put him down into 7th, so that is quite low down for the Ferrari there. So that does leave Carlos Sainz a little bit vulnerable up in 3rd, but we'll wait and see to see how that pans out for him. So yeah, we're now just about 7 minutes away from the start of the race. So yeah, I'm just going to ask you the same questions I asked earlier. Who's going to win? Who's going to make up the rest of the podium? Who's going to finish last? And who's going to fill out the rest of the points? Actually, screw it. Who's going to finish where? All 20 drivers. Who's going to finish and where are they going to finish? And when will each driver go out if you think there is going to be any DNFs? Like, it could happen. So let me know what you guys think about the finishing order of this race. Who's going to be where? Will anyone go out? Who will go out and when? And who's going to get the fastest lap? Will it be a Red Bull? Will it be an Aston Martin? A Ferrari? Maybe even a Mercedes? Who's it going to be? And which driver do you think it'll be? Will it be Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, or somebody else entirely? Like, I can't wait for this race because while last year's was a bit, let's be blunt here, boring, apart from Lando Norris's little incident, which put him out of the race, I think this year's is going to be an improvement because, of course, they have reprofiled some parts of the track now, so it is going to be a little bit of a different beast this year than it was last year. So I'm hoping for a more interesting race, and I've got a good feeling that we're going to get just that in a few minutes' time. Okay. Just having some adverts at the moment. Typical. Oh, never mind. We're back. Just stock up on the H2O. Ugh. Okay. Like, I'd love to point out that we're not even a quarter of the way through this season yet. Just want to point that out now. Like, I'm very surprised about that. Ugh. Okay. Okay. I'm wondering how the championship's going to look after today as well, because of course Max Verstappen did take quite a hit last week in Azerbaijan with Sergio Perez beating him to first place. So Max Verstappen is on the back foot slightly now, but it's potential that he could come out of this race leading the championship again. Sergio Perez may be leading it still, or it could be Fernando Alonso making his way up into second. Like, the championship could look very interesting after today. Obviously, that probably won't mean much come the end of the season, but today could be quite a turning point for the championship as of right now. Like, it could be Max Verstappen leading it again, as I said, Sergio Perez, or maybe Fernando Alonso could just come out of nowhere and, well, I don't think he can mathematically lead it today, but he can get very, very close if he does manage to get the win. Okay. F1 intro time. Again, I think this, as I've said before, this is definitely my favourite intro of the modern era, with the Brian Tyler theme over it. Like, I think this is my favourite, to be honest, so far anyway. Of course, there'll be many more to come, no doubt, with this theme, because I've got a feeling this is going to be around for a while yet. Okay. And the race information should be with us any moment now. Okay, here we go. Right. This is the start of the Miami Grand Prix in 2023. Okay. Yep, this is round 5 of the championship. Okay. Okay, this track is 5.4 kilometers, 57 laps, and Max Verstappen's fastest lap was a 1 minute 31.367 seconds. Okay, 19 turns. Top speed is 349.3 miles per hour. No, sorry, I think that was kilometers an hour, actually. That's very fast for a car. Okay. So, we're just seeing some best bits of last year from each turn of the track. Okay. Okay. Right. And here comes the grid. Okay. Oh, here are the 3 tyre compounds, the C2, C3, and C4, which are the hard, medium, and soft, respectively. The C4 being the soft, the C3 being the medium, and the C2 being the hard tyre. Okay, so those are the tyre compounds. And now we have the grid. Okay. Logan Sargent starts in last, so not a good start for him. And Oscar Piastri's in 19th. Lance Stroll is down in 18th. And Yuki Tsunoda is in 17th, so that is quite a drop for him. Lance Stroll, I mean. Lando Norris is in 16th, and Nick De Vries is in 15th. Zhou Guanyu is in 14th, and Lewis Hamilton is in 13th. Then we have Nico Hülkenberg in 12th, and Alexander Albon in 11th. Then we have Valtteri Bottas in 10th, and Max Verstappen in 9th. Then we have Esteban Ocon in 8th, and Charles Leclerc is in 7th. And then George Russell is in 6th, and Pierre Gasly is in 5th. Now, rounding up the top 4 is Kevin Magnussen in 4th, Carlos Sainz in 3rd, and then Fernando Alonso is in 2nd, and Sergio Perez is in pole position. Okay. Right. This is where the fun begins. The very first, well, the second formation lap for this track. A lot of very cool looking helmets this weekend, because of course, It's the Miami Grand Prix. They're going to come up with some crazy helmet designs, and they have pulled through. I especially like Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz's, and even Max Verstappen's, actually. Like, that does look a really cool helmet. Some drivers, however, have not gone for special helmets, such as Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. They've stuck to their normal helmet designs, which, okay, fair enough. And Sergio Perez, it seems. So those three have elected to go for their standard helmets. Okay. Whoops, started a bit of technical difficulties with my iPad there. AKA I dropped it. Whoops. Yes, and there has been rain overnight at the circuit, so that could change things up quite drastically, to be honest. Okay, and it seems they are now off for the formation lap. So in a minute or two, we should see them coming back around to the grid to start the race. Right, the top 7 are on mediums. Ocon and Verstappen are on hards. Valtteri Bottas and Alex Albon are on mediums. Hulkenberg, Hamilton, and Joe are on hards. De Vries is on mediums. Oh, and I've lost all of them. Okay, so the strategies are mediums for 17 laps, hards for 40 laps, or mediums 14 laps, hards 26 laps, and hards for 7 and mediums for 17 laps. So those are some quite interesting tyre strategies for today. I don't know which is going to be the fastest at all, in my opinion, really. I'm going to assume the first strategy is going to be the fastest, because, you know, less hard tyres means, well, I don't know. We'll find out. Well, saying that, there may be some accidents which could force the teams to change the strategies completely. We're just going to have to wait and see on that one. Okay. And Ferrari still have the fastest pit stop of the season so far with a 2.1 seconds. So that is the fastest pit stop so far. Okay. That's interesting. Right. Okay. And here's Max Verstappen coming through the track. I think this is turn 14, 15, yeah, the really, really tight chicane, which does seem a little less tight this year, so hopefully they'll be able to carry a little more speed through that chicane, because, as I said, last year, they basically had to stop for that chicane just to get through it. They had to let off the throttle, which didn't make it that entertaining to watch, unfortunately. And currently, with all the top 3 drivers' ages added up, this is the oldest top 3 since Japan 1999, apparently. So that's interesting. Okay. And here comes Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso back towards the grid, ready for the race start. Okay. Kevin Magnussen's lining up on the grid, so there's the top 4 ready to go. Should only take a minute or two for the rest of the grid to start arriving. Okay. Okay, here comes a bunch more drivers ready. There's Lewis Hamilton and Zhou Guanyu lining up. Right. The race is almost ready to start. I think I see the final driver being Logan Sargent lining up. Lewis Hamilton's patiently waiting to go. Right. Oh, there we go. There's the medical car at the back. The green flag is waving. So that's the start of the lights going on. And we are off for the Miami Grand Prix. And that is an amazing start from Sergio Perez there, but also a really good one from Fernando Alonso. Oh, wow. Very tight in the top three coming in. Oh, okay. Well, that was a very chaotic turn one, but nobody went off. That's a good start. Okay. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Everyone seems to be coming through here pretty single file, so this could be a pretty clean first lap, really. Okay. And it would seem that Sergio Perez is already getting some distance on Fernando Alonso, so this could be interesting, guys. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. There was some contact between Nick De Vries and Oscar Piastri. Okay. Yeah, that chicane seems a lot better now for actually getting through it. Okay, that's a big improvement from last year. Because that was one of my main complaints about this track last year, was that chicane. It was just way too tight. You literally had to let off the throttle completely just to try to get through. Which isn't what you need in F1. Okay, and the first lap is just about done. Which means we got 56 to go. And DRS will be activated at the end of this lap. So we'll get some DRS action in a minute or two. Okay. Oh, Lando Norris has moved up. Nick De Vries has gone down into last, unfortunately for him. Logan Sargent is up into 18th. Okay. Fernando Alonso is currently 1.2 seconds behind race leader Sergio Perez, so he has got a bit of ground to make up in this lap, especially to get DRS at the end of it on Sergio Perez. So Fernando Alonso is going to need to pick up the pace to get DRS on Sergio Perez in a few moments' time, which he could very well do. Because we know so far this season, Fernando has been quick. Okay. Okay. Okay, it seems at the moment, literally nobody is within DRS range of anyone. That's a bit awkward. Oh no. Oh no, there might actually be some people. I have completely misread the stats there. Whoops. Okay, so that's the gap to the leader for everyone. Oh, and Logan Sargent is in the pits for a incredibly early pit stop. That's quite surprising. Okay. Yeah, they're going for a tyre change. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Front wing damage from some contact. I'm not sure when that happened, but he is in the pits now to get that changed. Okay. Oh, and there's a bit of a scrap here between Kevin Magnussen and Charles Leclerc, sorry. Okay. That's George Russell up into 5th as well. And Pierre Gasly up into 4th. Okay. Oh, turn 1 incident has been noted between Lando Norris and Nick De Vries. Okay. And it's probably going to be investigated very soon. Okay. Oh, and Charles Leclerc has just about overtaken Kevin Magnussen, although he is right behind him and is coming back to try to get... Oh! And that's a double overtake there from Kevin Magnussen and Max Verstappen to overtake Charles Leclerc. Oh, that was interesting. Max Verstappen definitely saw an opportunity there and grabbed it. Okay, so there's going to be no further investigation on the Norris-De Vries incident. Okay, fair enough. I personally haven't seen it, so I can't really give any thoughts on it. Like, apparently it just happened. So, yeah, I can't really give too much of an opinion on that because I literally didn't see it. Okay. I've moved back a bit, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. Yeah. Okay, I'm just sitting up against the wall and pills a little bit, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. Right. Now we're on to lap 4, so DRS is well in play now. So, okay, so no, there's actually a lot of drivers within DRS range of each other. In fact, there's only 2 or 3 that aren't. Logan Sargent isn't in DRS range of Nick De Vries. De Vries isn't in range of Lando Norris, and Verstappen is not within DRS range of George Russell. So those are the only 3 drivers that aren't within DRS range of the driver in front of them, which is honestly quite interesting, especially Verstappen not being within DRS range of the driver in front, although probably will be soon. Okay, here's a replay of the restart, so we should see the De Vries Norris incident any moment now, I'd imagine. Ah, right. Okay. De Vries locked up and pretty much went straight into the back of Lando Norris, so that was a bit of a shame for him. Right. Okay, this is an onboard from Lewis Hamilton at the start. Ooh, had a pretty decent getaway there. Ooh, got a bit sandwiched in between Hulkenberg and I think that's Albon. Yeah, Hulkenberg and Albon, I'm guessing. So yeah, he got a bit sandwiched in there, but he managed to escape it. Right, and here's the replay of the Nick De Vries Norris incident from De Vries' angle. Yep, he just locked up and went into Norris. Okay, nothing could have been done there, really. Okay, and this is the double overtake, I'm guessing, from Max Verstappen and Kevin Magnussen on Charles Leclerc. Yep, they both got straight past him. I think Leclerc was too distracted by Magnussen, and then forgot Verstappen was there, and he passed him as well. That's what I think happened anyway. Okay, there's a pit stop for Lando Norris happening. Oh, it's a replay, never mind. Okay, now we're already on to lap 6 here, so at this rate, this race is going to be over very quickly. Again, my estimate was 85.5 minutes, so in theory, I could be right on that, but we'll see. Oh, Lewis Hamilton radio. Okay. Okay. That was a fastest lap there from Max Verstappen. I can't remember what the time was because I was focusing on the Hamilton radio, so unfortunately I did miss that. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys can still hear me with the distance. If you can't, let me know and I'll move a bit closer again, but as for right now, hopefully you guys can still hear me. Okay, there's Max Verstappen closing in on George Russell, I think, with DRS. Yep. But he is not close enough right now to get the move done at all, to be honest. He is quite a far back from George Russell there. Oh, bit of a replay. Oh, a very close call on the turn 14-15 chicane there for Esteban Ocon. Nearly hit the wall, but just avoided it. Like, by the skin of his teeth. Ugh. Okay. Okay, now we're on to lap 7, so 51 laps to go, guys. We're already quite a way through this race, which is honestly quite strange to say, considering, you know, it's only just started, really, like 15 minutes ago. Oh, Alonso radio. Okay. Right. That pit strategy is plan. Well, Fernando is suggesting plan A minus 12. So 12 laps earlier than they were planning to, which isn't good. That obviously implies that Fernando Alonso is not happy on his current tyres. I don't know what compound. No, he's on mediums, so he isn't happy with the mediums right now, which, okay, fair enough. They're obviously not working for the Aston Martin. So hopefully they'll come in soon to get them changed. Okay. I mean, it's that, or he is bluffing like crazy. He could very well be bluffing right now, and he could just be saying that to bring his direct rivals in this race into the pits while he stays out and takes their place. Which is possible, but that was another fastest lap there from Max Verstappen, a 1 minute 32.3, so the lap times are already really starting to come down quite significantly. Well, again, we're going to see that over the next few laps. The lap times will start decreasing very quickly. Okay. Right. See if I can bring the microphone a little bit closer to me. Oop. There we go. Okay. It is slightly in view now, which is kind of annoying, but it's a bit closer. So hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now that I'm a bit further back. Okay. Right. Just going to lift the camera up a little bit. Right. And then... And that is actually George Russell being overtaken by Max Verstappen. Okay, and this is coming into lap 10. No, this is we're coming into lap 9 now. Right, so, oh, camera's gone a little bit wonky there. My bad. There we go. Okay, so that is Max Verstappen up into 5th place, which means he's only got 3 more cars to get through until he reaches his teammate Sergio Perez in 1st. Still in 1st, by the way. Okay, let's see how this overtake went from Max Verstappen. Yeah, just went around the inside, coming into turn 17. Yeah, he got him. Okay. Right. I think we're going to be coming into lap 10 in a second. Right. Okay, we've got Max Verstappen chasing down Pierre Gasly like crazy. Probably going to try and overtake again pretty soon. Okay, and here comes Max Verstappen to get very close to overtaking Pierre Gasly. He does do it, but only just. That was a very close call there from Max Verstappen getting around Pierre Gasly. And there's actually George Russell overtaking Pierre Gasly as well. So that's a double overtake on Pierre Gasly there. Okay, so that's Pierre Gasly down into 6th. But the top 3 has remained the same since the first lap. And that's on lap 10. Okay. Okay. Yep, that was also a very clean overtake there from George Russell. on Pierre Gasly as well. Okay, now Max Verstappen is very slowly closing in on Carlos Sainz now, so this battle is going to take a while to heat up, really. Like, he's 2 seconds behind Carlos Sainz now, so I think 2 or 3 laps is when this battle will start to get really interesting. What else is happening right now? Oh, battle for 10th between Hamilton, Albon, Hulkenberg, and Bottas. So that's going to be something to follow for a little bit, I think. Of course, 10th is the last points-paying position of the grid. So this is obviously a very sought-after place for a lot of drivers. So all those drivers will be looking to get into 10th place, if not higher, obviously. But 10th is definitely a target for a few drivers. Oh, George Russell radio. Okay, George Russell's gut is telling you it's going to be a Plan A race for Mercedes. Well, for him in particular, I should say. So yeah, so George Russell has a bit of a gut feeling that it's going to be a Plan A race, whatever his Plan A is. Oh, that was some DRS from Lewis Hamilton's catch up to Alex Albon. Wasn't able to get the move done. He wasn't close enough to him, but wasn't far off. Like, the DRS has helped him to close up on Alex Albon quite a lot, frankly. Okay. Okay. Oops, Sergio Perez with the fastest lap with a 132.4, so the laps are really starting to come in now. Oh, and that's Max Verstappen with a 1 minute 32.251 seconds. So we're approaching the 1 minute 31s now quite quickly. Probably takes a few more laps to get to the 1 minute 31 lap times, but we are not far off now. Okay. Now we're on to lap 12. So we're well over a quarter of the way through this. No, I think we're just under a quarter of the way through the race. So this race could be over quite quickly, really. I do think at the moment, the 85.5-minute mark does seem possible, but again, that's provided nothing goes wrong, which hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully this race goes exactly as planned, but it may not. We'll wait and see. But yeah, we're already on to lap 12, so we're just over 20 minutes into the race, so this is a pretty good start, to be honest. Okay. And it looks as if Charles Leclerc is going to try and re-overtake Kevin Magnussen for 7th place in a few moments. Like, that Ferrari is getting very close to that Haas, and that Ferrari has overtaken that Haas. Okay, oh, but Kevin Magnussen has come back to retake the place. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a ding-dong battle, I would think, for a while. Okay. However, Charles Leclerc does have to be wary of Esteban Ocon behind him, because he's getting quite close to him, so he could try and overtake Charles Leclerc. This could be quite an interesting battle to monitor. Okay, now we're on to lap 13. Okay, and the pit window is now open for the medium tyres, with the pit window being lap 11 to 20, so this is like as I said earlier in the season, this is like the optimum time to pit if you're on medium tyres within the next 7 or so laps. Okay. Okay. And there's Max Verstappen closing right in on Carlos Sainz, probably getting ready for an overtake. Of course, Carlos Sainz... Oh, and we now have the first 1 minute 31 lap of the race, and it's a 1 minute 31.916 seconds from Sergio Perez. But here comes Max Verstappen on Sergio Perez. Of course, they were each other's first teammates in Formula One back in 2016. Oh, and there's Max Verstappen getting the fastest lap with a 1 minute 31.736. So that's 2 tenths ahead. Well, 1.8. Well, nearly 2 tenths ahead of his teammate Sergio Perez in terms of lap time. Okay. Oh, and here comes Max Verstappen again, trying to overtake Carlos Sainz. And it looks as if he's going to try and pull the exact same move as he did on George Russell, and he's got it done. However, Carlos is trying to come back at him. So I wouldn't consider that move a done deal just yet. Yeah, I don't think that's quite done yet. Got a feeling. Right. Oh. And there's Max Verstappen getting very close to Fernando Alonso for potentially another overtake. So, and then all he's got ahead of him is his teammate Sergio Perez. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Kevin Magnussen's in the pits. Just a little bit of information on him there. Okay. That's a 2.7 second pit stop there from Haas for Kevin Magnussen. Right. And here comes Max Verstappen again to try and overtake Fernando Alonso, but... And nope, here comes Max Verstappen, and there he is, overtaking Fernando Alonso. So now, all that's standing between Max Verstappen and first place is his teammate Sergio Perez. However, there is nothing stopping Fernando Alonso or Carlos Sainz from coming back at Max Verstappen to overtake him. Okay, Sergio Perez has just been told his pit stop strategy is going to be Plan A plus 5. So that's going to be 5 extra laps added onto his lap time. No, onto his pit stop strategy. Okay. Oh, and here's the replay of Max Verstappen overtaking Fernando Alonso. Okay. There we go. Right. Oh, and here is an Alpine in the pits, and it is Pierre Gasly. And Valtteri Bottas is in the pits as well. Okay, and Nick de Vries. Okay. Right. So there's a few pit stops done with. Okay. On to lap 16 now. Oh, and a 3.5 second pit stop for Nick de Vries. That's a little bit slow compared to the others. So maybe there was something not quite right with the tyres. I don't know. I didn't see the pit stop really, so I can't really comment. Oh, and here comes Lewis Hamilton to overtake Alex Albon for 9th. Okay. Oh, Sergio Perez radio. Okay, he's complaining that his front right tyre is starting to give way a bit. Okay. Okay. Lap 17 now, so we got 41 laps left to go. I'm surprised how quickly this race is going by here, I can't lie. I knew it was going to be pretty quick, but I wasn't expecting it to be this quick. Pardon me. Right. Oh, there's apparently some movement down in the Red Bull garage, getting ready for a pit stop for either Max Verstappen or Sergio Perez. Wait and see. Okay. And here comes Lewis Hamilton to try and overtake Nico Hülkenberg, but doesn't quite get it done. Charles Leclerc is coming into the pits, and actually so is George Russell. Okay, and that was a 2.7 second pit stop for Mercedes. That's pretty good. And for Ferrari, that was a 2.6 second stop, so that's pretty good as well. Okay. Okay. Lewis Hamilton again going to try and overtake Nico Hülkenberg. He might be able to get the move done this time. He might not be able to. We'll wait and see. Okay. Can't quite get it yet, but he is closing up to Hülkenberg, so that move could be on quite soon. And speaking of moves being on, here comes Carlos Sainz to overtake his fellow countryman, Fernando Alonso, but doesn't quite get the move done. Very close to actually crashing into the back of Fernando Alonso. Ooh. Nope, there goes Carlos Sainz into the pits. Ooh, and a massive lockup into the pit lane there. Yikes. He does not want to do that very often. Okay. And that was a 2.2 second pit stop there for Ferrari, so nearly beating their own pit record. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to do that at some point, you know. Beat your own record, that's kind of a flex, really, isn't it? Okay, and here comes Carlos Sainz, out into 7th, behind Lewis Hamilton. Okay. Okay, not too much is happening at the moment. Oh, replay from Sergio Perez. What's going on here? What are we seeing here? Because I'm not fully sure what purpose that replay was serving. Okay. Nothing odd was happening. The tyres looked okay, so maybe they just showed it because they could. Okay, Max Verstappen is 1.5 seconds behind Sergio Perez at the moment, while on the fastest lap, so that's quite interesting. Oh, and here comes Lewis Hamilton again to try and overtake Kevin Magnussen, but still can't get the job done. However, Carlos Sainz is very close to that Mercedes there, so there's potential that Lewis Hamilton's going to have to start focusing on defending from the Ferrari, because, never mind, there goes the Ferrari on Lewis Hamilton. Whoops. Okay, so that didn't quite pan out how Lewis Hamilton was probably hoping it would. Okay. Right, we're on lap 20 now, and Max Verstappen is still 1.5 seconds behind Sergio Perez. Okay. Okay, 1.3 seconds. Oh, and here comes Red Bull getting ready for a pit stop for one of their two drivers. Not sure who. Oh, and it is Sergio Perez. Yep, and there's Perez coming into the pits. And that does put Max Verstappen up into the lead for now, unless Fernando Alonso is able to get around him. We'll wait and see. Okay. Another 2.2 second pit stop there from Red Bull. Okay. And that's Perez down into 4th after the pit stop. Okay. Oh, and there's Carlos Sainz on Nico Hulkenberg. Oh, that was a very close overtake. Oh, that was very nearly very bad because Carlos Sainz's left rear right tire was quite close to Kevin Magnussen. No, Nico Hulkenberg's front left. So that was very nearly quite catastrophic, but they were both able to save it. Okay. Oh. And there's a speeding in the pit lane incident for Carlos Sainz being investigated. Of course, that was as a result of his lockup coming into the pit lane. Oh, and Max Verstappen's front left tyre is looking very shredded right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if Max Verstappen's called in for a pit stop very soon. Yeah, he's probably going to be called in for a pit stop very soon. Oh, and here comes Lewis Hamilton again to try and overtake the Haas of Hulkenberg, but still can't get the job done. Oh. Max Verstappen isn't quite happy with the upshifts in the gears, so that potentially could be a problem. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. Oh, and there's a bit of a three-way battle between Alex Albon, Lance Stroll, and I think that's, Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Oh, and here comes Sergio Perez overtaking Esteban Ocon and up into 3rd. Oh, Fernando Alonso radio telling Fernando that they are extending their stint, so it'll be a bit longer before he comes into the pits. And that's on lap 23, so we're now quickly approaching the halfway point of this race, so that's quite interesting. Okay, so yeah, Carlos Sainz's incident in the pit lane is now under investigation. And that's the fastest lap for Sergio Perez with a 1 minute 31.533. Oh, and there's Alex Albon coming into the pits for his pit stop. Right. Oh, and there's a penalty coming in for Carlos Sainz. And it is a, 5-second time penalty. Okay. Oh, George Russell radio. Uh-oh. Russell seems to think he has some damage on the front wing. Okay. And Lewis Hamilton has at last managed to overtake Nico Hulkenberg for 6th place. That has been a long time coming. It would seem that was an overtake, quite a few laps in the making there. Okay, so George Russell is quite worried about his front wing at the moment. Let's see if I can't see any damage from my, obviously, very interesting camera view, but I can't see anything right now. Wait and see what Mercedes say on that. Oh, and there is now an incident between Lance Stroll and George Russell, and Stroll is under investigation for leaving the track and gaining an advantage on George Russell. So wait and see how that one progresses, and see if anything does come of that. Okay. Oh, and Mercedes have told George Russell that the front wing seems to be okay, so hopefully whatever George Russell's problem is at the moment does fix itself, kind of. Okay. Right, now we're entering the middle stage of the race, so stuff may not happen for a little while now. There's probably not going to be too much going on at the moment. Again, this will be the point where the drivers start to back off a bit, do some pit stops, ready to push like hell at the end of the race. I know this is quite early compared to last week. Oh, and there's Fernando Alonso into the pits, so that puts the two Red Bulls back into 1-2. Okay, and that is Sergio Perez on the fastest lap of the race. Oh, and no further investigation on the Stroll-Russell incident. Okay. Right. Oh, the stopping radio. Okay. Okay. And Pierre Gasly is now up into 10th after the overtaking Lance Stroll. That was quite a clean overtake there from Gasly. Okay. Now we're on to lap 26. So this is basically the halfway point of the race now, I think. Yeah. Oh no, not quite there yet, but we're not far off, I think. My maths isn't quite mathsing right now, guys. Okay, we've got 2 more laps for the halfway point. Oh, Sergio Perez with the fastest lap again. 1 minute 34 point... No, 1 minute 31.444. Okay, so that's quite a quick lap there. Oh, Stroll radio. Okay. Fernando Alonso is getting very close to Carlos Sainz again. Probably going to attempt a re-overtaking. Very soon, I'd imagine. Potentially on this massive straight coming down towards turn 17. Okay. Carlos is still keeping ahead of Alonso, but don't count this little battle over yet. Now, Sergio Perez is quite a way back from Max Verstappen now, thanks obviously to his pit stop, which has put him quite far back, obviously, but there is potential that Max Verstappen will pit again towards the end of the race, so Perez could re-overtake, possibly, who knows? Okay, George Russell overtaking somebody for 8th. I'll check who that is in a second. Oh. Okay. Yep, that was him overtaking Yuki Tsunoda for 8th place. Okay. Oh, and here comes Fernando Alonso to retake 4th place from Carlos Sainz. Ooh, that was quite an interesting overtake there from Alonso. Okay. Oh, Alex Albon radio. Okay. Albon isn't happy with his strategy at the moment. He's hoping to try and get the team to slow him down a bit because he's worried about the tyre performance. Okay, fair enough. Okay, now we're on to lap 28 of the race, which means we're basically at the halfway point now. Okay, and as has just been pointed out, Max Verstappen has not yet pitted, so he will probably need to come in very soon for a new set of tyres, which means that Sergio Perez will retake 1st place at the moment. Oh, and there's George Russell overtaking Nico Hulkenberg for 7th. Okay. Anyway, while this race is now starting to slow down a little bit, as I usually do, I'll stay on until the podium ceremony at the end of the race, and then I'll sign this one off. Of course, you guys don't have an AstCast to join now because it's already been done. But don't forget to join me again next weekend with Roxanne and hopefully Rodney from the After Credits Scene channel to discuss the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in pretty big detail, so please join us there next Sunday. But yeah, there's no other streams today for this weekend because I've already done the AstCast. This race is on quite late in the UK. It's currently 9:20 in at night. Okay. Okay. And here comes Fernando Alonso overtaking Esteban Ocon for 3rd place. So that is Fernando Alonso back up into P3. No, Fernando Alonso back up into P3. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and there's a bit of a crosswind on the track. That's going to be quite interesting. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, this race is going to start slowing down for a bit now. All the drivers will be, getting ready to make one final push to the finish, and then said some drivers will be making their pit stops because, of course, some still haven't, like Max Verstappen. So at this point in the race, things are going to slow down quite significantly for a while now. And then about lap 42, I reckon, things are going to start to go a bit wild again. Oh, although saying that, here comes Carlos Sainz to overtake Esteban Ocon for fourth. Yeah, from here, not much is going to happen for the next 10 or 12 laps, so that drivers can get ready for one last big push to the end. Oh, Verstappen radio. Okay. Right. Max has just been told he can push the tyres a bit more now, which, okay, bearing in mind he still hasn't pitted Red Bull, okay, cool. Okay. Now we're on to lap 31. So yeah, in about 10 laps time, things should start to get a bit more interesting again, which should take about 10-ish minutes to get there. But yeah, this race seems to be going quite well so far. A lot of overtakes have been happening so far. Obviously, some have taken a while to actually come to fruition because some drivers have been too far back to start with, but have obviously gained up a lot of time to make those overtakes happen. So yeah, so far we've had a fairly interesting race, to be honest. Okay. Oh, Lewis Hamilton radio. Okay. Okay, nothing seems to be happening right now, which is quite unfortunate because it was quite an interesting start to the race, really. Oh, another Hamilton radio. Oh. Okay. Lewis Hamilton has said on George Russell, George can go by if he wants, but I'm not going to back off and risk losing time to Ocon. Speaking of which, there goes George Russell ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So now, Esteban Ocon is George Russell's problem. Okay, and there's Max Verstappen on the fastest lap again. 1 minute 31.239 seconds. George Russell radio. Okay, lap 33 here. About 25-ish laps to the end now. So we're well over the halfway point by now. Okay, oh, Verstappen radio. Esteban Ocon has re-overtaken Carlos Sainz for 4th. Okay. A little bit of action there between Hülkenberg, Gasly and Stroll. Stroll attempted for a double overtake, but ended up getting none. Ouch. Okay, here's Lance Stroll. No, sorry, here's lap 34. Why I said Lance Stroll, that I don't know. Okay, lap 34. Okay. There goes Nico Hülkenberg into the pits. Okay. And that was a 2.9 second pit. Oh, and Carlos Sainz has re-overtaken Esteban Ocon for 4th place. Okay. Oh. Okay, apparently Charles Leclerc is claiming that the car is jumping a bit, so hopefully he doesn't have a repeat of Q3 yesterday. Because I think he was complaining about that, obviously before he spun out in the end at the end of the qualifying session. So hopefully history doesn't repeat itself in that regard. Okay. Okay, lap 35. Which means in the next few laps, things will start to get a bit interesting again. More overtakes will start to occur. People will really start coming in for pit stops because, and again, especially Max Verstappen, because he's been on this set of tyres since the start of the race. You know, they've probably not got that much life left in them by now, surely. Oh, I say that, but he has just done the fastest lap again. 1 minute 31.225 seconds. Okay, so these tyres must have a little bit life left in them yet. But of course, legally, he will have to do a pit stop before the checkered flag. Otherwise, I believe that is a straight disqualification. So he is going to have to make a pit stop before the checkered flag, or he will be straight up disqualified from the race. Eek. Oh. And there's George Russell also overtaking Esteban Ocon, so that's George Russell up into 5th. Okay. Oh. Kevin Magnussen replay here, I'm not quite sure what for. Oh, he ran wide in the chicane. Okay. Right, okay. That's... Okay, I think that's a Ferrari. trying to overtake a Haas, and it is Charles Leclerc on Kevin Magnussen. Okay. And that's Sergio Perez again with the fastest lap with a 1 minute 31.192. So this could be heading towards a new lap record now. Okay. And there's Charles Leclerc overtaking Kevin Magnussen, just as I had foreseen. Let's face it, the Ferrari was going to overtake that Haas, unfortunately, for Kevin Magnussen. It was going to happen, and it has. But Kevin Magnussen has not given up and has overtaken the Ferrari. Okay, that was unexpected. Oh, Sonoda pit stop of 3.3 seconds. Okay, not bad. But wow, that was quite interesting. And that's Nico Hulkenberg on the fastest lap. A 1 minute 30.901. Good God, okay. That was quite a surprise. And there's George Russell up into fourth, overtaking the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Okay, on to lap 38 now. Right. Oh, I hope you guys didn't hear that, but that was all of my fingers clicking at once. Yikes. Okay, and I think Charles Leclerc is going to again try to overtake Kevin Magnussen in a second. And here comes Lewis Hamilton into the pits for his pit stop. Oh, okay. And there's Charles Leclerc overtaking the Haas again. And that's a 2.5 second pit stop for Lewis Hamilton. That's pretty good. Okay. Lap 38, so we got 22 laps to go now, so not too long of this race left. Okay. And there's Charles Leclerc, yep, doing his overtake on Kevin Magnussen. That was a pretty clean overtake there. Okay. And here's a replay of George Russell. I'm assuming, yeah, this is his overtake on Carlos Sainz for fourth. Straight past, yep. And that's a very happy George Russell after his overtake. Okay. Right. Apparently, the last lap Sergio Perez wasn't his best, so there may have been a mistake somewhere along the line. Okay, and here comes Lewis Hamilton to attempt an overtake on his former teammate Valtteri Bottas, but doesn't quite get the move done. Okay, and Carlos Sainz is having some problems with front right tyre wear, which makes sense. He has been pushing them quite hard for a while now. Okay. Lewis Hamilton, I think, is again going to try and overtake Valtteri Bottas. And is not going to quite get the move done. Okay, they're now side by side, and Lewis Hamilton has cleared him. And there's Esteban in and out of the pits already. Damn, that was quick. Okay. Yep, there we go. And there's Ocon out of the pits between Hamilton and Bottas, actually. Okay, now we're on to lap 40, so things will start to heat up again very soon. Ready for the final 15 laps of the race, because, again, I think things will really start to kick off at lap 42. And we're now on to lap 41, so next lap, expect things to go a bit crazy again. Okay. Ooh, I will admit, that was an incredibly close call from Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas there. Okay. Okay. And Max Verstappen still hasn't pitted. So he is really, really going to do that. Probably very soon. I know these hard tyres are going to last a good while, but surely they're going to have to start going off soon. Like, again, he will have to have to do a pit stop eventually to avoid disqualification. Okay, I think Verstappen is now trying to extend to 20 seconds ahead of Perez, so he can get in and get out before Perez comes around. Which, ooh, that is going to take a while to get that gap built up. Oh, and that's the fastest first sector for Lewis Hamilton with a 30.678 seconds around the first sector. Okay. But Hulkenberg still has the fastest lap of the race. He still has it. Okay, now we're on to lap 42, so this is where things are going to start going a bit crazy again. Okay, there's now a battle between Kevin Magnussen and Lewis Hamilton for 9th place. Lewis should be in striking distance of Magnussen in the next 2 laps, in theory. Okay. Oh. Verstappen radio. Okay. And now we've got 15 laps to go. Okay. Okay. Right. Kevin Magnussen's just going around the track at frankly, a pretty relaxed pace right now. He doesn't need to worry that much at the moment. Because Lewis Hamilton is still about 3 seconds behind him. Okay, and there's Lewis Hamilton behind him. Oh, George Russell radio. Oh, and Stroll's pitting. Yep, okay, they were just asking for some tyre feedback from George Russell, but that's been dealt with. He said they're fine. And that was a 3-second dead pit stop for Lance Stroll. So that was a pretty decent pit stop from Aston Martin there. Really? Okay. Okay, Fernando Alonso is still very, very firmly in third. Like, he's got a lot of space between him and Perez in front of him, but also a lot of space between him and Russell behind him. So, Fernando has got a lot of clean air right now. And there, I think, was Roger Federer at the side of the track. I think. It could have been. Don't know. I'm saying that. It actually looked a lot like James Marsden, so it could have been him, although it was a very quick look, so I couldn't quite identify the face. He had sunglasses on too, so it was James Marsden. Okay. So that was a bit of a boo-boo with the graphics then. Ooh. So James Marsden is at the track, it would appear. Yeah, it was a very quick look, so not the best of mistakes to make, really. One's an actor, one's a tennis champion. Lap 44 of 57 now. And Max Verstappen still hasn't pitted. Okay, Verstappen, he is running a very dangerous game right now. Okay, here comes Hamilton. Trying to overtake Magnussen for 8th place now. Oh, and Sergio Perez has the fastest lap. Of 1 minute 30.897 seconds for Sergio Perez there on the fastest lap. Whew, that's quick. Okay, so we're on to lap 45. 13 laps left to go. So we're not quite done just yet, but we're not far off now. I'm going to say this race will finish at about 10 past 10 UK time, roughly. Yeah, so... Oh, and there's Lance Stroll on the fastest lap. 1 minute 30.862 seconds. Okay, so I think this race should be over in the next 25 minutes. And there's Max Verstappen biting the bullet and coming in for his pit stop. He should come out 1.7 seconds behind Sergio Perez now. Okay, and that was a 3.1 second stop for Verstappen there. Okay. Yep. Ooh. Very close between the two Red Bulls there. Okay. Last 11 laps now, so we're getting very close to the end now. Okay, Sergio Perez, the new race leader, of course. That's interesting. Sergio Perez's team radio hasn't really had anything said about his fight with Verstappen, whereas Verstappen's team radio about it has been constant, so that's quite interesting. I mean, maybe they're just wanting to keep Sergio Perez calm, really. And it seems to be paying off at the moment, because Max Verstappen is just out of DRS range coming into turn 17 on lap 46. Okay, lap 47. Oh no, this is the last 11 laps, sorry. Okay. Max Verstappen is trying to close in on Sergio Perez to overtake his teammate for first place again. Oh, okay. Max Verstappen is very close to him, so that could be a re-overtaking attempt very soon, potentially. Possibly, again, come in down the straight to turn 17. Oh, okay. Oh, and Perez defends really well there against Max Verstappen. Perez wants this win. And seems he's going to do every damn thing he can to get it. But here comes Max Verstappen to try and overtake. But, oh, that's very close between those two. Okay. This is about to get spicy, people. This is about to get spicy. Okay. Okay. Okay, Max Verstappen is, for now at least, back in the lead of the race. Okay. Okay, final 10 laps here. And this could be an inter-team fight between the Red Bulls. Ooh. Of course, Red Bull being a big sponsor of this very track, and Hard Rock Cafe, who also sponsor this track, being a sponsor of Red Bull now. Okay. Ooh, that was a very... Ooh, that was very tight. That was almost not an overtake at all there. Like, Sergio Perez nearly got him back into turn 2, but Sergio didn't quite get the job done. So that is Max Verstappen back up into first. For the time being, at least. Will he stay there? Only time will tell. Okay, and that's Max Verstappen on the fastest lap. 1 minute 30.3.63. No, a 130.637 seconds. There we go. Ugh, that did not want to come out right. Ugh. Okay. Okay. It's now a 1.5 second gap between Perez and Verstappen again. Okay. Lap 49 right now, so any moment now we should be seeing lap 50, which gives us 8 laps of the race to go. Okay. And there goes Lance Stroll overtaking Nico Hulkenberg. No, sorry, Alex Albon, I should say. Okay. Okay. Okay, lap 50. Right, lap 50, so we got 8 laps to go. Okay, battle for 7th between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Again, striking distance for Lewis within 2 laps, so in 2 laps' time, in theory, Lewis Hamilton should be able to at least make an attempt on Charles Leclerc. We'll wait and see. Maybe sooner. Who knows? Oh, Alonso radio. Okay, so Alonso is at the moment just watching Lance Stroll behind him on that really good overtake on Alex Albon, to be fair. Fair enough. Ooh, Perez radio. Okay. Just checking to see if Max was struggling at all, but it turns out he was just managing his tyres coming into turn 1, or his fuel. No, it's probably more likely his fuel level, because his tyres are very much new right now. They're only a couple of laps old, really. Okay, lap 51. Okay, there's Yuki Tsunoda attempting an overtake on Valtteri Bottas, and he gets the move done very cleanly. Ooh, runs a little bit wide, but manages to maintain 11th. Okay. Okay. 2.3 second to get us a gap between Verstappen and Perez now, so Verstappen is beginning to pull away from his teammate here. Okay. Okay. And Lance Stroll is going to try and overtake Valtteri Bottas, but isn't quite close enough. Okay. Okay, on to lap 52 now, it seems. Okay, Lance Stroll has just about got ahead of Valtteri Bottas there into the final turn. That was very close there. Oh my god. Okay, that was just about an overtake. That was very nearly an incident, but it was just about an overtake, thank god. Okay. 5 laps to go now, lap 53. And that's Verstappen with the fastest lap, 1 minute 30.372 seconds. So that's pretty good from Max Verstappen there. Okay. Ooh, Charles Leclerc trying an overtake on Pierre Gasly. Not quite close enough, but very, very, very close. Oh, and here, oh, no, ran out of straight. Oh, but Gasly does have a lockup, so Charles Leclerc is able to get past Pierre Gasly. And now all that stands between him and fifth is his teammates in front of him. But he's probably not gonna get that because he is 14 seconds behind Carlos Sainz. Okay, and here comes Lewis Hamilton chasing Pierre Gasly. Oh, and there he goes, overtaking Pierre Gasly. Okay. Okay. So, the last lap procedure for anyone in the pit lane has now changed. So the last person on the lead lap, no one is allowed to step outside the garages until that last lead lap runner has crossed the finish line. So, so that will avoid the incident from last weekend. So yeah, so that is the new last lap pit lane procedure, because of course last week was incredibly dangerous with the Esteban Ocon pit stop with the photographers on track. Oh, and here's a very close overtake between Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Obviously, Charles Leclerc coming up into sixth, and no, Lewis Hamilton coming up in sixth, and Charles Leclerc dropping down into seventh. Now we're on to lap 55 of the race. So that's only 3 laps to go. We are nearly at the very end of this race. Oh, but Charles Leclerc is planning to come back at Lewis Hamilton. Let's see if he gets the job done. Oh, but here's a quick replay of Lewis Hamilton's overtake on Charles Leclerc. So, oh, that was close, but Lewis Hamilton did get the job done, ultimately quite cleanly. Okay. Okay, and that's a 3.2 second gap now between Verstappen and Perez. Okay. Right. And now we're on to lap 56, so second to last lap now. Okay. Right, I wouldn't be surprised if this is now the finishing order of the race. No one seems to be in a position for an overtake now, so this is how the race could finish, unless a last-minute overtake is completed, or... No, not saying it. Nope. Not happening. Nope. Okay. And I think that's the top 2 getting ready to approach the final lap. There's Max Verstappen coming through the tight chicane of turn 14-15, coming past turn 16 down onto the massive straights, turn 17. And then he's got 3 more turns, and then Max Verstappen will be on the final lap of the race. Okay. Right, that is Max Verstappen on a 1 minute 29.708 second lap. So that is quite one hell of a lap. So that's a 1 minute 29.708 seconds lap for Max Verstappen for the second last lap, and that is, of course, the fastest lap of the race. Surprise, surprise. And he has actually now got the fastest lap on this track ever. I know this is only the second race, but still. Anyway, this is now the final lap of the race. Okay. Okay, overall, this hasn't been too bad of a race. It hasn't been the most interesting, but there has been stuff happening, so it hasn't been completely boring, but it has been a pretty decent race, but not the best I've seen this season. I would say that still probably goes to Bahrain. I know it was the first one, but still, like, that was one hell of a race to start the season off with. Okay. And any moment now, we'll see Max Verstappen come through to check the checkered flag. And Max Verstappen wins the Miami Grand Prix. Okay, and here comes Sergio Perez to take second place. And actually, the race finished a few minutes earlier than I was expecting. And I can now officially say it, nothing went wrong. The race went exactly as it was planned. No one crashed, no one broke down, there were no red flags, yellow flags, safety cars, virtual safety cars. Everything went exactly as planned. Wow! That doesn't happen often, and I will absolutely take that. Okay, and there's Lance Stroll trying a last-minute overtake, it seems, on Yuki Tsunoda for 11th. I don't think he's going to get the job done, though. Nope. But here comes Lance Stroll to take 12th, while his teammate has already come home to take 3rd. Okay. Okay. That's Verstappen on the fastest lap, and I think he's one driver of the day as well. And apparently this is only the 4th time in F1 that a race has been won from somebody starting in 9th place. So this is only the 4th time that a person starting in 9th has won the race, which is absolutely bonkers, to be honest. And then, okay, just a bit of a team radio of Red Bull congratulating Max Verstappen on yet another win this season. And he has now equalled Sebastian Vettel's win rate at Red Bull with 38 wins. So they are on equal. So they're now on equal standings at Red Bull with their wins. So if Verstappen wins again, he will become Red Bull's most successful driver in terms of wins. Of course, to be most successful in terms of world championships, he's still got another 3 to win. Because, of course, Max Verstappen is only on 2 currently, Sebastian Vettel's on 4, so he's got to win 2 more, and then he will equal him, and then another one, then he's bested him. But yeah, that is Max Verstappen winning the driver of the day with 27% of the vote. Okay. And there's actually a billboard for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Love that. And it is currently showing Captain Pike. Hell yeah. But yeah, I can't lie. That was pretty decent. The drivers are just pulling into Parc Ferme now. There's Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. I'm not sure where Fernando Alonso is. He may have pulled in at the side of Verstappen, but... Oh, there he is. Okay, so there's Fernando Alonso now. Coming in. Okay, right. I'll wait a few minutes for the podium ceremony to take place, and then I'll sign off for the night. I'm just surprised that that race actually ran to the estimated time, roughly. That was really, really surprising. Huh. Who knew that would actually work? Well, hey, at least we've had one race this season that hasn't had any incidents. Or red flags, yellow flags, that sort of thing. Okay, that's Fernando Alonso looking incredibly happy to be back on the podium. Of course, he wasn't on it last weekend with, I think it was Charles Leclerc taking... Yes, I think it was Charles Leclerc who took his place, but I don't think Fernando will be complaining about being on the podium again today. Okay. And there's a very happy Sergio Perez there. Okay. Now, if I recall from last year, it's quite a trek from Parc Ferme to the podium, so it may take him a couple of minutes to actually get there. I remember it on the other, like the other side of the track, so I know there was a car ride for the top three to get there last year, which was obviously quite cool. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a bit of a distance between the Parc Ferme area and the podium, so be a few minutes before I get to sign off here yet, but it'll be soon. Oh, and Jensen Button's doing the post-race interviews of the top three. Okay, Max Verstappen's up first. Yep, and Max Verstappen has made this only the fourth person. Has only made this the fourth time a ninth place starter has won the race. That is insane. Okay. Well, yeah, that was an interesting race. Of course, as I said in the AstCast earlier on, there is no race next weekend, so next weekend there'll be a pre-recorded AstCast, as there used to be. So, expect that 5 PM next Sunday, and then, if all goes as planned, AstCast 6 PM UK time, so expect that as well. But, yeah, so there's no race next weekend. However, the week after, there is one. I think it's Spain, if I remember rightly from earlier on. I could be wrong on that. I could be right. I don't honestly remember. I know it's one more race between... I know it's one more race between now and Monaco, so... pardon me. I know there isn't... I know it isn't Monaco next time out, but... I'm pretty sure it is Spain next time in Barcelona. Okay, just some post-race interviews going on right now. They've done Max Verstappen, so Sergio Perez is up now. In a second, it'll be Fernando Alonso, and then they'll head over to the podium. And then I can sign off here, and then I'll see you all tomorrow with another video. So, yeah, now I'm just going to say this now. Thanks all for watching this. If you've liked, please like the video, as well as subscribing to the channel, and comment as well, because why not, and let me know what you thought of the race, and what I think is going to happen next time out, and I'm pretty convinced it's Spain. And then, please follow me on my social medias as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Stereo, and TikTok. That'll be in my link tree in the description. Below that as well will be Roxanne's website and her YouTube. And please share please share this with all of your friends, so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing. But yeah, I'll just wait a few minutes for the podium to happen, then I'll say goodbye. Okay. So now they're just interviewing, Jenson Button's just interviewing Fernando Alonso really quickly. Of course, being former teammates at McLaren between 2016 and 17, I think. I can't remember. I wasn't really watching F1 back then, so I don't quite remember when. I can't remember if it was 2015 or 16 that Fernando moved to McLaren again. Let me know in the comments if you know, please, because I just don't remember. I said I wasn't really properly watching F1 back then. So yeah, just let me know if you guys can remember that far back, because I can't. Okay. All the drivers are about to be weighed. Okay. Or have they moved the podium to... Nope, they've not moved the podium, so there is going to be a bit of a trip down to the podium from Parc Ferme. Oh, please tell me they'll have the NFL helmets again. Oh, please, someone tell me they're going to have the NFL helmets again. Because that was absolutely iconic last year. Like, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc wearing those was just absolutely brilliant. So I'm really hoping that happens again. Okay, they're being transported in jeeps. Oh no. Oh no, they're mini mugs, apparently. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Off they go to the podium. This will take a minute or two. Because I remember it took a couple of minutes last year. But at least they should be a bit quicker, because these cars seem to be quite fast. Okay. Yeah, these mokes seem actually pretty quick, so the trip to the podium shouldn't take too long. Okay. And there's the race result. Max Verstappen in first, Perez second, and Fernando Alonso finishes third, rounding off the podium. Okay. And Max Verstappen has gained the fastest lap point, putting him up to 26. So let's see how that affects the championship standings. Should see that in a moment or two. I'm not sure who's going to be leading the championship now. It's probably going to be Max Verstappen or Perez, but I'm just not sure which. Okay. And Logan Sargent, unfortunately, in his first home race, finished in last place and a lap down. Ouch. Not the best introduction to his home crowd, but hey, it's his first season in F1. He's only a few races in, so hopefully by next season he will be able to make his way a bit further up the grid in his home race. Hopefully. Okay. Wow. Interesting. This is only the 14th race in F1 history to not have a single retirement Oh my god. They've got the NFL helmets again. And NFL jerseys. I love it, I love it, I love it. And they seem to be in Miami Dolphins blue. That's really cool. I absolutely love that. Okay. The top three seem to be agreeing that the track this year was better than last year. Because, of course, as I said at the start, the track has been reprofiled a little bit. I think the main bit is that turn 14, 15 chicane where last year you just couldn't put the throttle in through it, otherwise you were going into a wall. As did happen twice. I believe it was Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon into a very, very hard concrete wall, which could have done quite a lot of damage. So they obviously have, well, to themselves and the cars. So obviously they have fixed that this year, because that was one of the main complaints of last year. Because like that was quite a dangerous part, really, to put a very hard concrete wall on. So a lot of people weren't particularly happy about that. But obviously the Miami track organisers have taken that into account this year and have reprofiled the chicane a little bit. Okay. Now the top three are just reviewing highlights of the race. Right. Okay, all the teams are getting ready for the podium now, so hopefully that should happen in the next few moments. Yeah, this is a street track as well, so the fact that there was no issues at all is really surprising. Like, I was expecting at least one incident, maybe one car breaking down or one crash, but no, there was honestly nothing, and believe me, I'm happy about that. Like, it's good to see a race where nothing goes wrong. It's nice to see everybody finish, so thank God they did. Okay, and here comes the podium finishers. Okay, here comes Fernando Alonso, taking the third step of the podium, or rather the third place. Oh, he's not wearing the helmet or the jersey. Aw. That would have been really cool to see. And here comes Sergio Perez, also not wearing the helmet or the jersey. And I'm going to take a guess that Max Verstappen has also done the same. Yep. Ah, gutted. I was really hoping to see at least one of them wearing them. That would have been really, really funny. Now shut up for the anthems. And there are both national anthems done with. Okay, I'll just wait for the trophies to be handed out, and then I'll sign off. Okay, the first place trophy has been given to Max by the owner of the Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross. And then Mohammed Ben Salayem is giving him the winner's medal. Then he's congratulating all the other two drivers, Perez and Alonso, and Jonathan Wheatley, who is on the podium accepting the trophy, a constructor's trophy, as it's his birthday, which makes sense. No, it's not Jonathan Wheatley, never mind. It's Stephen Kalifowitz, who is the Red Bull Chief Marketing Officer. Okay, never mind, ignore me for a moment there. Okay, and it seems that Rodney Harris, the mayor of the mayor of City of Miami Gardens, is giving Paris his second place trophy. Okay. And here's Fernando's trophy for third place. And that's going to do it for this stream. So thank you all for joining. I'll see you all tomorrow for yet another video. But for now, bye people.